Hello, great people. How are we today? I am walking a different trail today, and I thought, wow, I'll take this walk on this trail that, this walk is going to be about, who am I? Where I come from. Because when you pick a channel to watch on YouTube, whatever channel it is, part of the channel is who's that person you watch, watching? Who are they? How did they grow up? You know what I mean? So I thought I'm going to take time and I guess you could say this is more personal, and that might turn a lot of you people off, and I understand that. I know we live in a world that if I'm not talking about UFOs, aliens, or the paranormal, they're not interested, and that's fine. That's fine. There's a part of life that there's a lot of things in life, and one of the things that I've been learning, and I'm not, like I said, I am not ashamed to say some of the stuff I'm going to say, that I have been talking to a psychiatrist, a mental health clinic, with the VA, because physically I got some stuff that's falling apart that I'm trying to get it worked on. A lot of you know, and I'm trying to get it stronger so I can do even more trail walking for you guys. More of the investigations of the Bigfoots and the paranormal, and I gotta work myself to that point, because I had an operation, so I'm trying to build myself back up. So who am I? Why should I even listen to this Eric guy who people call him Gypsy Road? Why? And the answer is, I don't know. It's up to you. I can't. A lot of people look for certain things. A lot of people, it's important that if people grow up perfect houses. They went to the best schools. Some people like that. It's true. Look how huge the Kardashians, because they're rich and powerful. Me, I'm the total opposite of every one of these kind of people. I am not your typical great-looking host. I'm not a Zach Baggins. I'm not these people. When I grew up, okay, I was born, of course, in Fresno, California. Grew up in a town called Kerman most of my life, which is just on the outskirts of Fresno, a farmer town. We want to call it farmer town, or whatever you want to call the town. Next to Modesto, Medota, Biola, And then as a teenager, we did move into Fresno. But as a kid, when I was growing up, I grew up without a mom, okay? So she left when I was a baby, so never knew her until I think I was like 17 when she came back to Fresno. And this is the honest truth, people. This is the honest truth. I'm just on this little bridge right here. This little bridge. Honestly, for the longest time, I didn't even know if my mom was alive or dead. Didn't know. Nobody ever talked about her. Nobody. Even though for Christmas, we went over to my grandparents' house, who's my mom's parents, nobody has ever talked about my mom. I assumed she was dead, you know. But Eric, you never, well, you know, when you grow up just with two other brothers and a father, and first of all, that's all you knew. You know, and growing up, for me, there is nothing, I would say, glamorous. One of the things I've been learning through the with the mental health classes and everything, that a lot of the stuff that makes you today is the result on how you grew up, what happened to you as a kid. Now, for me, it was like two sides of a story. Family wise, you couldn't ask for a better family to grow up in. The Wood family, the Ragsdale family, our good friend from the Rodriguez family. You know, we were all tight. Going to mountains, hunting trips. I mean, our family was tight. Okay, but then there's the other end. Where you live, how the other kids treat you. For me, we lived, I don't know the exact story how we ended up there, but it was a place that's all I knew. That apparently, when my mom left, she blew the engine out of the car. She went to my father's work company, took his last check. So basically we had nothing. And my father had a friend who worked at a speckled sugar plant with them. And said, hey, I'm a manager of this apartment complex, if you call it that. But it was an apartment complex that was it was for when illegal aliens come into California. It was like a place for them where no paperwork was needed. You know, it was like a money under the table type of system. So, you know, we grew up like, I said this of it, like we're living in Little Mexico. And our apartment complex on one side was all cotton fields. We were surrounded by grapes out there, but by our apartment, it was cotton fields. And on the other side was connected to an auction. So every Sunday there were mariachi music. You know, they did the selling thing, and you know, food. And guys, don't hate me for this. You know, they had chicken fights and all that, and you know, but during that time, I didn't know none of that was bad because it was the normal. I mean, that's what you saw on Sunday. Things that I've seen, I know now that it's considered super bad, but when you're growing up in it, you don't know what's bad or not. You see two chickens, people betting money. It was like a sport. So yes, I know it's wrong, but I'm just telling you, the time that I grew up, that was the normal. So, and you know, and it didn't help that I was above 70% death in the ears. Some things I was up to 90, but I can't tell you because, you know, when you're living with low hearing, you don't know it's even low hearing because that's all you know. That's all you knew. They think that when I was a baby, when my mom wrecked the vehicle and I flew out the windshield, true story, I actually flew out, and they were, I guess what I heard is they were surprised that I even lived. My grandpa, who was a minister for a church, used to call me the miracle baby. Like they just said, you know, people were shocked that you even lived, and you know, you were more or less all right. But, you know, there are side effects. You know, they think the ears issues and some other stuff, you know, I had, you know, came from it. So, and let me tell you something. Not having perfect teeth, living in a certain area where other kids were, you know, it's kids at a certain age are mean. They have to pick on people. And a lot of these things, you know, I've learned of these people, they're cowards. They're cowards to the point where they pick on who they seem weaker. Because with my hearing, I used to have kids throw rocks at me. Seriously. Threw rocks at me. I wouldn't know because I couldn't hear them. And then, of course, I told you guys before that when I was going to school, elementary school, some of the teachers made a complaint to the office. They thought that, hey, this kid's not listening. We think there's something mentally wrong with him. Nobody bothered to check anything physically. Nothing. And, you know, I have heard they use the R word. And you guys know what I'm talking about with the R word. I heard that was used. So, they sent me to a special school. And there was like a regular car that picked up, like, I guess, kids like me. And drive us to this other school up in Fresno. So you gotta imagine a bunch of kids go to the bus stop and they're seeing you get into this little brown car with like 3-4 other kids. Imagine what they were calling me. I'm serious. I mean, it was just, you know, I've learned very young on how people are cruel. It's just, I learned that along, and I've also learned grown-ups who are supposed to be teachers, supposed to be helpers. If they see an issue with you, they just kind of want to ship you away because that's one less burden they have. So I remember going to this other school, and they had like these tables, like I hate to say it like this, dumb, you know, dumbest, dumb, you know, or like, you know, first grade level, you know, third grade level reading. They separated these tables on, you know, how smart or they think you are. And of course, when I got there, I was in the last table. And I remember that, you know, they're giving tests. And I remember I did super well. And I still remember, and when you go to these schools, they just can't send you back. I mean, when they send you there, you're locked in for a couple of years, no matter what. I don't know what the program is. You have to, even though if they say they made a mistake during this time, you had to go. I think I remember the school was called American Union. If I have to double check that. And I remember, like, wow, this kid knows his stuff. What do you mean he's slow? And I guess what happened was she was behind me. I was doing some kind of work and she was saying something and I couldn't hear her. And then I guess, you know, she got in front of me and she said the same thing and I responded. And, you know, she asked, I do remember she's asking, like, do you remember me saying this just a couple seconds ago? No. She's like, I think you have a hearing issue. So So, and this was, I was in 4th grade at this time. I was in 4th grade at this time. And she took me to the nurse. The nurse looked it up, and oh my God, there's I guess there's like tonsils in the air, erupted, scar tissues. They found dry blood. You know, there was some blood. I remember my ears would sometimes bleed at night, but what the hell, as a kid, I didn't know any better. So they sent me to an ear doctor. First time going to an ear doctor. I was in 4th grade, first time going. They looked and like, this kid can't hear. Somehow, you know, I've learned to really pinpoint when people were talking and reading their lips. I don't know how, but I guess when you don't have something else, you kind of like just, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So I had to get an operation done. And actually, I had to go to the Children's Hospital. They had to do some operation on the ear and all that kind of stuff, and remove like the ear tonsils and stuff. And I still remember, I do remember being on that table because they had like Mickey Mouse all on the wall, right? It was all on the wall. And you know, I'm in the hospital. It's the first time I've ever been in the hospital. I don't know anything was going on. So they put the mask on me. And I remember staring at Mickey Mouse, and I was just like doing this. Faster and faster and faster till I passed out. Then I woke up with the worst ear pains I've ever had in my life. And they had things covered up. And I don't remember exactly when I was hearing louder because, you know, it was swollen. You know, there was, when it got down, but I do remember a few weeks later, like, oh my God, everybody's louder. It was like, this is what it's supposed to sound like? But now, even with them fixing, and I guess because I never heard properly, is one of the reasons I have a speech problem. I always had a speech problem. And so, hold on guys, I gotta show you this. Look at this scene here. Look at down there. Look at all that. Isn't that just... Isn't that just gorgeous? I'm gonna sit for a second and talk to you guys. So, you know, I mean, one of the things that they told me that I've lost, like I said, I never had it in the first place, but like if somebody whispers very low, I can't hear it. They're like a hearing level, they show me like a chart, like a hearing level. You know, you're supposed to start hearing from here, but I didn't hear this until it gets louder to like 30-40% up. So I never had like very, very low, I don't have like very good low hearing. My right ear has a higher pitch than this ear. And of course, your eardrum is supposed to have like a space between the back and, you know, it's for like vibration, air pressure. I don't have that space. But hey, you know what? And apparently that was part, they're saying that, you know, since I never really heard properly, I never developed, I guess, what they consider the typical great language and how to speak. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I see people come to these other countries speak better than most of us, but, you know, or was it the car accident where till this day I have problems with certain words. I can't say certain things. It's hard. Almost like the easiest words. You know, and once they got that fixed, when it was the end of the 4th grade, they said I could go back to the regular elementary school. But I couldn't continue to 5th. I had to redo 4th grade. Now, some of my friends were in 5th grade, so it's almost like I don't know, like they got to move on, and I'm a year back. You know, I'm not in their classes, so it was like so many ways. I was living in a town that only had one elementary school, one junior high, and one high school. It was like going to school all over again to the town that I lived in. And again, you know, going back to regular school, you know, I was picked on. You know, and I remember in elementary school, I was one of the first kids ever in my school, first boy ever to get an earring. You know, I don't remember what made me want one. I don't remember that, but I think it was maybe when I got into music, when I got into hard rock and metal music. It was, you know, the attitude like "fuck you," you know. Maybe was one of the reasons, you know. So I got an earring, and I remember in Kermit Elementary School, a teacher walked up to me, grabbed my ear, and pulled out the earring and said, "Boys don't wear this." And I was like, "Oh." I'm like, "Why?" It's like, you know, it was weird for me because it's like one of the first times I've you know, really seen the prejudice. Like, it's just an earring, it's just a piece of metal. Is it that big of a deal? She just took it away. My of course, my friends or whatever, my brother and them told my father, and of course they called the school, and they actually got the earring back, and I put it back in. And that teacher, I don't know if she got in trouble for it or not, but she never treated me nice. She treated me like shit. Because, you know, there was at one time 2 elementary schools. There was Kerman Elementary and the Sun Empire. Sun Empire were more of the farmer kids. People that actually had more money. Then I remember at one time they had their own junior high, but they shut it down. They brought us all together. And I remember the teachers all treated them like gold. You know, people with money like gold. People that had no money, like ourselves, treated us like shit. I mean, like crap. I seen it. I was there. I mean, it was. I mean, they treated us. I mean, seriously. Like when you start thinking back and like, wow, they treated me like this because we had no money. And you know what? I mean, where you start thinking about it, you know, they should be patting my father on the back. That like one parent, you know, one parent's taking care of kids is hard. It doesn't matter if your parent's a mom or a dad, you know. And now there is a difference in if you only have one parent between people that having a mom and a dad, because you know, I'm not saying I got nothing to complain, but our lifestyle, we did whatever we wanted. Because I mean, if you want to say it's because it was a mid house, I don't know. But that was, you know, school. They treated you like shit. I was up at Pop Warner football, and I was having a hell of a half. I was a defensive end. I was having fun. I got to hit people, you know, and one of the coaches grabbed me, looked in my eyes, and literally asked me if I was taking drugs. Asked me. Because I shouldn't be playing like that. I shouldn't be playing that good. I was playing too good. So I must have been drugs. It was like the stereotype that poor kids got. I mean, it was sad. It was like, really? You know, I never touched a drug in my life. Well, I had a few beers, but the beer was it. But I wasn't drinking for a game. Fuck, you can't play hard with being buzzed. But that's how it was. You know, when you get to high school, Luckily, I was good at sports. So I was treated a lot better because I play sports. And it's a fact, it's true. If you play sports and you're above the better average, you get treated a lot better. I seen it. My own eyes. They treated me better. You know, and I guess, you know, there were some proud moments. I'm not gonna say that high school was, you know, all bad. I met, you know, the best friends I ever had. You know, Ryan Walker, Jeremy Brown. You know, Tage Brar. I grew, you know, and all these kids were just like me. You know, we were all lost in a certain way. We were lost. We all had issues at home. You know, my friend Jeremy, parents were living in Hawaii. They dropped him off at his grandparents' house in Kermit. Hawaii? Kermit? Fresno? So, and now that's, oh wow, hold on a second. Wow, look. The water, it's pretty cool being this high up. It's pretty cool. So, you know, wait a second. Hello. You know, so it was just, you know, that was just part of life you had to go through, you know. But like I said, you know, one thing about having good friends is people who go, you know, are like you. It's like we all understand, and we were all judged because we wore heavy metal shirts. We were all devil worshippers. You know, my brother got kicked out of high school, got sent to a side school because they were talking about Dungeons and Dragons too real, and they thought they were insane because the schools weren't ready for kids who played Dungeons and Dragons. Because he got sent to another school, they made me sign a piece of paper. You say, you know, if I start missing days, they seriously, I had to sign this paper like I was guilty by default. I mean, it was just crazy. So I can't sit here like, you know, you try to understand, but like, I just signed a paper for somebody else. I don't care if they're related or not. So I'm guilty just because I know this person. I mean, but you know, that's the way it was. What are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? You know, so, but again, even with all that crappy shit, kids picking on you, calling you names because of this, learning the ugly side of life, seeing it firsthand, you know, seeing it firsthand. But let me tell you the other side, the family part, the hunting trips, going in the mountains for me was such a break in life. It was such a break. Because over here, I was being picked on. But up in the mountains, you know, I was a king. Being up in the mountains. And you know, and it I don't know how he explained it, you know. I mean, our family is all about having fun. They were serious about the hunting. Don't get me wrong. They were serious about the hunting. But it was fun. Like I said, we were 11. We had that Bigfoot experience. We actually saw one where we heard it from our family about like respecting the woods, respecting everything, respecting the bears and Bigfoot. But during the camping trip, I think like I said before, I think maybe we seen a bear maybe once in the woods. So not seeing like Bigfoot wasn't a huge deal because you hardly even saw a bear. So we had that experience seeing a Bigfoot. It was it was more of a satisfaction for the young guns. We were the young guns. Like, hey, we finally got to saw one. Of course, learning that the real world, most people in the real world don't believe in the Sasquatch. But it's their loss. But those trips, going to mountains I think that's why I always tell you guys, like, I love the outdoors, because for me, that was my only peacetime that I had growing up. Listen, I used to go into a grocery store called Valley Food Center in Kerman, where my father used to walk up to the manager and said, hey, if I write this check, can you not cash it to Friday? Because I don't get paid. When I said we were poor, we were deep shit poor. So, whew. Oh, it's nice, just this walk. And then I guess, then of course, after high school, worked at Target, did some college classes. But the thing is, I never felt growing up like I belonged. Like I belonged in Fresno. I belong here. And now I'm learning with the mental health class, talking to people, that probably one of the main reasons why I always felt I never belonged was because in your reality growing up, you were treated bad. You had all these issues. Kids picked on you. You couldn't hear. You never had a happy space. And I get that, because when I was growing up, my house was never empty. I don't know if all you guys, I don't know if any of you guys ever saw the movie Dogs in Space, that Australian punk rock movie that starred the lead singer from NXS. Where if you watch this movie, there's always people in the house. And that's how my house was. And this is 100% fact. Oh, fact, or it's true. Growing up, I never had my own bedroom. Never had a bedroom. Never got to share a bedroom. I slept on the couch all the way past high school. Never had a room. Never. So, if I wanted quiet time, I used to pick up my my cassette player and go on walks. I just take off. And oh wow, hold on. Just look at this little trail here. There's like I never knew. Wow, look, there's like a little trail right here, and it's kind of funny. I never knew that this little trail existed here. This little one. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I didn't know. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh. Hello.
Hey, good morning,
It's been a beautiful day. It's gorgeous. So I almost lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, so you know, I never had a bedroom. So I think all my privacy when I took walks is me and the cassette and listen to music. I think that's why I had a passion, so much passion for music, because it helped me to be somewhere where I don't have any complaints about how I grew up and what the lifestyle was, but it was just, there was no private time. I mean, when you had no bedroom, I couldn't just go into the bedroom, shut the door. You know, I had to share. And since it was like an all guys house, there were parties every weekend. I'm serious. There was parties every weekend. Because our friends, my brother's friend, Jason Walker, older, and his little brother was my friend, Ryan Walker, my level. Their dad was the chief of police. And his dad knew that if his police cars go on our block, their kids would probably be arrested too. Because under, you know, the drinking. So our block was actually blocked off. So we literally can do whatever we wanted. My father always left to the bedroom. So, I mean, sometimes I wonder to this day that how do we ever survived? How do we walked out of it? I mean, seriously, sometimes I wonder. Because, you know, I know a lot of you guys saw the movie Animal House. But it was literally like Animal House every single day. But I'm gonna tell you guys something else. But what was so cool, in a weird way, that way, every weekend was when the Animal House really kicked in. My father used to get up in the morning and made everybody breakfast. He would make homemade biscuits. He would make coffee. He ain't no dummy. Now, I know there's going to be an argument saying, you know, is that a good parent? You know what? It's easy to say that, but if you know, if you grew up in the lifestyle that we were all in, you know, was it really that bad? Was it? But my father used to make everybody breakfast. Everybody. And trust me, there was a lot of kids. We would go outside. We have a bench outside our front door. We had our friend Robert Cantu used to fall from the tree to the ground because he was sleeping in a tree. Again, you know, but that was normal. That was normal. Oh, I know, looking back now, it's you know, it is what it is. And I remember seeing those church people for the first time that wear suits, and you know, they knock on your door and they want to teach you the God work. Every time we see them, our other friend David Rudemakin, he used to like put on this like robe, this devil outfit that they used to use to play in the game Dungeons and Dragons board game. And when they come, they would be like doing the upside down cross while they're knocking on the door and while they're watching this. And they're like, how you guys doing today? Oh, we're doing great. We're just having a satanic seance here. You know, we're about to sacrifice. I think my brother said, we're about to sacrifice a cat. You want to join us? No. Come on, man. You can have we'll let you guys do the tell. I mean, we weren't, but it was, let me tell you something. it kept most of them away. But there was one group that kept coming back because they felt like they could save us. That they could save our soul. And we were always like, it's not our soul that needs to be saving, it's your soul. Listen, I don't, people can do whatever they want in life. Whatever makes them happy, makes them happy. But I always felt you don't need a temple, you don't need a building in church. Even though my father was a minister, you don't need all that to be happy. Just be a good person. That's it. Just walking on another bench. Just be a good person. But this one group kept thinking they could save us, you know, save the Wood family. You know, that was it. So, just catching my breath for a second, people. Just catching my breath. You know, just. But, of course, and then going back to where but I still never felt like it was my home. So I decided to move to Seattle, Washington. I just picked it on the map. I said, I want to leave Fresno. I just want to go somewhere. And I was the one who did this. I was the one. I'm like, I want to move out of here. And I saw like Seattle has all this coffee and stuff. I'm like, that's for me. So I got a job at a Sierra Summit ski resort. Worked at a ski resort all season. You know, with snowboarding. Love snowboarding. I did that just to get laid off. To get laid off and they have unemployment check come in. And that's what I did. Got laid off in the season. Had some unemployment check. Me and my cousin Daryl packed up the bags in the car and we left to Seattle. And one guy, one apartment complex of everybody said, you know what, I like you too. I'll give you guys a chance. Here you go. And then I was in Seattle for so many years. Then I joined the Coast Guard. And that was a fun time. You know, I met my wife. You know, we got married. And we're still married to this day, 27 years. 27 years. 27 years. And we're still married. So am I a bad person? I don't know. So, lived in New York for a little while with the wife. Then we moved back to Fresno for a little bit. Now my wife was from upstate New York, so Fresno, you know, it's way different than living up in the Cortland, New York area outside of Syracuse. So we moved back to Seattle since it was beautiful, right? And kind of been here ever since in Seattle. You know, and I'll admit, we had a lot of issues because, you know, like, I don't know how you say it. You know, when she wanted a conversation, I wasn't really that person to give the conversation because I was a person, you know, being on air, I don't know what it is, but being like on YouTube, being on air, I could talk to you. But when YouTube is off, a lot of times, you know, I'm a free talking person, but I'm more to myself. So, and I think I was missing so many skills with the wife because never had a mom, never had a woman. Oh, sisters? Well, I actually had a brother that became a sister. That's another story. Well, I'll tell you that story later. But, you know, never had a mom. So there are skills that I've learned that you do learn from having both parents. And I never learned that skill. So, you know, was I the perfect husband? I first of all, listen, I never cheated, never did none of that stuff. But in the world of conversations and stuff, like talking to people about your feelings, no. I have always kept everything on the inside. And, you know, I think my own brother will even, you know, will say that if there's one main flaw that I had is, you know, I want to trust that all people are good, that all people are honest and fun, you know? And of course, a lot of people aren't. But a lot of times, even when I knew there was something fishy, right? I knew something's fishy about a person, I kept it to myself. Is that due to not having a mom in my life? Honestly, I can't tell you that because I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how I would be today if I had a mom in my life. Hey, it doesn't. If I had a mom in my life, it doesn't mean I would have been a better person. Hey, all you know, I would have been worse. You know? Like I said, I know we skipped the whole part where my mom did come back when I was 17, you know, and you know, and of course, you know, I learned some things about my father and her relationship in the first place. At the time when they were dating, my mom was a stripper. I'm not embarrassed to say that. She was. She was. It is what it is. And then, for whatever reason, it didn't work out between them. But it has nothing to do with me. So I never, ever brought anything up like that. You know, it has nothing to do with me. And by that time, it's like, what's the use of being fucking angry? Listen, you know, I had a hell of a good childhood. Grew up in the mountains with a family. Yes, I had kids picked on me. Yes, you know, stuff like that. But you know, overall, I feel that, you know, I feel I had a good life. So, I'll be back. You know, but I always say, you know, things happen for a reason in life, you know, and I think that's why where I'm at today, you know, and you know, again, I've realized that I don't have great communication skills with the wife and all that, so I've been working on it and all that. So, oh, beautiful. Hello. So it's part of the thing I'm working on, you know, so I can communicate better, you know, not really hold things in, because you guys all been there, right? Where you hold things in so much and it takes something and it triggers you, and sometimes you go overboard because you never let anything out. You know, that's what I'm working on. And I can honestly tell you, I'm in a better place today where I was yesterday, last week, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Yes, I have some medical issues with the leg and all that, but I think, you know, I'm getting a lot of things corrected, fixed, or not really fixed. Better skills to help me deal with life. And it is amazing to know that a lot of things you've been through does haunt you to, you know, to this very day. God, I don't know if you can see the Puget Sound. It's beautiful. So, guys, that's me. That's who I am. You know, just, you know, just, I'm sorry, I'm just catching my breath, and I'm really learning to appreciate the life, because, you know, there's been a lot of, like I said, there's been a lot of things, you know, that, like, again, that does happen in your life. You know, even when I got in the military, I got into a major injury where my service-connected disability is the reason why I'm not in there anymore. You know, so life will always kick you down. I guess it's about how you respond, right? How you get back up, how you keep going. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep going. And I know this video ain't gonna be popular at all, just because, again, unfortunately, unless I'm talking about UFOs, Bigfoot, or aliens, whatever, people are not gonna listen. And I really truly believe that sometimes we do need to listen to our friends, because we are all living the real world. You know, like the Kardashians and stuff like them. You know, that's TV world. That's TV drama, fake. We are living the real world, and I think listening to other people within our community on the struggles they have gone through, I think it truly helps people. So if, I don't know, if this helps any one of you, I'm happy. And guys, don't ever be ashamed if you say you're doing mental health classes or anything like that. Don't be ashamed. Never be ashamed. I know sometimes for guys, you gotta be macho, like, I don't need that shit. You know, for a person like me, who always holds everything inside, I know, I get it. I talk on YouTube, you know, it looks like I'm giving everything out, but there's certain things I never give out. And be able to sit there with somebody and kind of just let it flow, it does help. It does help. I'm not all the way there yet. You know, I'm working on it to get better, but this is me, guys. This is me. And I don't mind living the simple life. You know, I'm never going to be rich, well off or whatever, but you know what? I'm fine with that. You can't buy this with money. Maybe, I guess technically you can buy your own, I guess, but you know what I get. You know, you can't buy this. You can't take this away from me. The sounds and everything. You know, I have 3 good kids. I feel that I raised 3 great kids. I do. And so if I'm your kind of host, and again on my show, I'm gonna be real. This is me. I'm gonna wear a hat. I'm not gonna, you know, pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm not gonna do those stupid thumbnails and pretend to smile. Do I smile like that in real life? No. So I'm not gonna pretend on a thumbnail. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. And beyond that, again, don't forget, if you're watching this long, I'm sure you're already subscribed. I'm sure the other side of the world, seeing a guy like me speak about it, they're already saying this guy ain't real. So beyond that, I'll see you guys next time on the Paranormal Highway.